I'm Dr. Ohiro Oni-Eseleh. I'm a psychotherapist and I actually do a lot of things. I am a writer and I see a lot of people through my psychotherapy practice. And also, I do host conferences. And I'm the founder and CEO of Integrative Ruminations, where we not only see clients, but we for psychotherapy, but we also do trainings. We train psychotherapists to be better at what they do, and also we host conferences, both here in the United States where I live, and also internationally. And there is something that really continues to recall, not just in my practice, but also in the lives of so many people that I know, where they seem very strong on the outside. And this is actually a phenomenon that affects most of us. We are strong on the outside while we are really breaking down on the inside. Really, just people see us and they think we are very strong because that's the image that we project. Whereas on the inside, we are overwhelmed because the things that we are doing on the outside really break us down internally, and we don't want people to see that. So that's the phenomenon that I would like to explore today, which is really revolves around two important questions. Number one, how many people have been praised for being, quote, strong, while privately being emotionally overwhelmed? We are praised for being strong because people see us and they are looking at what we are doing on the outside. We are doing all these great things. We are smiling, and everybody thinks we are strong because that's the image we are projecting. While on the inside, we are actually so overwhelmed that we are falling apart. So, but the second question is, how many people are surviving just through what they are achieving? In other words, how many people are surviving through achievement while still feeling emotionally unsafe internally? So we are achieving, we're doing again all these amazing things, and that's really what keeps us going. But if people were to actually see what we are experiencing on the inside, they will be overwhelmed, and they themselves will be overwhelmed, and they will wonder how such a strong person really sort of falters inside of them. Or how do we actually really still survive on the outside, seeing how we are inside? And all of this is partly because we live in a culture that often rewards endurance more than emotional honesty. Therefore, we can't really be honest about how we feel because we fear that people are going to judge us because of what they see. So people are praised for pushing through pain, for remaining productive under pressure, for staying composed even during hardship, and for continuing to perform despite emotional exhaustion. It is actually the phenomenon that an iconic Nigerian called Suffering and Smiling in his widely acclaimed music of I believe it was the 70s or the 80s. Because from the outside, this can actually look like strength because we are performing, we are succeeding. But internally, we are overwhelmed, disconnected, anxious, sometimes grieving, and sometimes just emotionally depleted. So I am looking at this in multiple parts. Number one is the performance of strength, because many people have learned very early on that vulnerability was unsafe. So even if you were young, especially boys, you are not cultured or you are not trained to be vulnerable. It's not only boys, though, it's also girls, but I'm saying that especially boys. Our parents will say, just tough it up. You're not supposed to cry because men don't cry. You are a man, even though you're only 5 years old. So, crying led to being dismissed while growing up. Therefore, you grow up thinking it's unsafe to be vulnerable. Emotional needs were ignored, and you were not really allowed to express emotional needs. And achieve, on the other hand, then achievement brought validation. You were validated, you were praised because you achieved. Therefore, survival required emotional suppression because you didn't want people to think that you were weak. And this carries on into adulthood. And so being the strong one kept families functioning. So in a family, we would say there are all of these issues happening with the family. And that still is the case. There are all of these problems with the family. But there is that strong one. And then you try to maintain that image of strength. And that everyone will then look up to and rally around, whereas inside of you, you were or you're breaking down. People don't see that inside of you, so your strength then keeps the family functioning. But over time, people may begin to perform strength. Performing strength meaning projecting that image of strength rather than actually experiencing stability. Experiencing stability also really means that there are times when you can just be human and what we call weak. But you are a human being after all. And the difficult part is this that society often reinforces that image where we project strength that does not exist internally. Society really rewards that. So we hear things like, you are very strong, you're a strong person. Oh my God, I don't know how you do it. You always hold everything together. You are not like the other people in the family. You are not like your friends. You are always strong. And the more we hear that, the more we want to project the image of strength, even if we go back into our rooms and just break down, because that's really who we are on the inside. But rarely do people ask questions like, "Hmm, how are you really doing? Emotionally, how are you feeling? How are you doing? What has carrying all of this weight done to you? What has it cost you? When do you get to rest?" So here is a question that I like to ask, some sort of a reflection question. What happens when someone becomes so identified with being strong that they can no longer feel safe expressing that they're struggling emotionally? I'll ask the question again. What happens when you or someone becomes so identified as a strong person? They're identified with strength to the point here they can no longer feel safe expressing when they're struggling emotionally. Ponder that question. And the second part, the second area in which I want to look at this phenomenon of being strong on the outside while feeling overwhelmed on the inside is looking at achievement as emotional survival. One thing we don't discuss often is how achievement can become a survival strategy. For us, it becomes a cover. We are achieving, so everybody sees us as this one who is really achieving, whereas it's indeed a cover. for what we are actually experiencing. Because for many people, for many of us, success is not simply about ambition. It is really connected to safety, it's connected to validation, it's connected to our identity, it's connected to belonging, our protection from criticism, and avoidance of shame. So we want to succeed so that people do not see us as failures, because if they see us as failures, then we have nothing. So we strive to succeed and um, reckon more successes. And as we do that, we don't address our emotional pain. Some people feel emotionally at the safest when they are producing, when they are excelling at what they do, or when they are helping others, because all of these for them prove their worth. And because their worth is proven through all of these, they keep doing more and more of it, not paying enough attention to letting people see the pain that they're actually experiencing. They don't want people to know that sometimes they actually need help. But the problem is that achievement cannot permanently heal emotional insecurity. Therefore, even after accomplishing goals, people may still feel some private struggle. That is why we'll find very successful people sometimes having to deal with anxiety, self doubt, fear of failure, emotional emptiness, and feeling like imposters, and I did recently talk about imposter syndrome. And these are some of the reasons why we also experience burnout and chronic comparison with others. Externally successful people are not automatically secure internally. I'll say that again. That people who are externally successful are not always internally secure. One is not automatic for the other. And the third part in which I want to look at this, the third area in which I want to look at this, is from the area of the emotional systems that we all have, that is, the emotional systems that we all have. Because emotional unsafety can develop when people consistently feel judged, criticized, rejected, unseen, invalidated, unworthy, or unstable. When we talk about being emotionally unsafe, we're not only talking about physical danger, we're also talking about our lack of stability that comes from these feelings, from being constantly judged and being constantly criticized, feeling rejected. So, over time, the nervous system of the individual adapts to survival. So, people can become hyper independent and sometimes overwork themselves just to avoid all of these criticisms. And so, and what happens when people do that sometimes is that they become emotionally detached from reality. Because sometimes exhaustion is not simply physical, it's not simply physical fatigue. And it actually can break us up and break us down completely so that we begin to feel depressed and anxious and begin also to believe the judgments that people have about us. And a level of insecurity, high level of insecurity, can arise. So there are many other parts in which I will look at this, but what I will say right now is that if you are interested in exploring this further, I see that I only wanted 15 minutes of your time, and it's already 15 minutes. But there are many areas in which am interested in looking at this, and many areas in which I can talk to you. Uh, in addition to really providing you strategies to deal with this. But what I will do is say that if you are interested in exploring this further, you should reach out to me at ruminationsb at gmail.com, ruminationsb at gmail.com, or Ohiro.Oni-Eseleh at integrativeruminations.com. And I will send you a PDF guide that I have developed on this subject, or you can go to our website in a week from today, that's next Monday. You can go to our website, www.integrativeruminations.com, and you can download that guide. But as a closing reflection, I would say that many people are carrying invisible emotional burdens which they don't need to carry, while continuing to function at very high levels. If this is you, pay attention and understand that you don't have to carry that weight. You don't have to continue to function at very high levels to please anybody. And because you continue to function at that level, your pain often goes unnoticed, even by yourself. Surviving is not the same as feeling emotionally safe. Achievement is not the same as self-worth. Strength is not the absence of struggle. Perhaps you should understand, in fact, definitely should understand that true strength includes honesty, softness, emotional awareness, creating boundaries, giving yourself rest, and the willingness to just be human without having to perform constantly. So again, if you look at the screen right now, our website has been posted, www.integrativeruminations.com. Go there exactly a week from today, and you can download the PDF document that I have created on this topic. And in it, you will also find ways to deal with this so that you can be emotionally strong on the outside and inside. You can be strong on the outside and also strong on the inside, so that you're not strong on the outside and emotionally overwhelmed on the inside. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in, let's say, about 2 weeks from now.